Some declare that press media is dead, that minimalism is dead, and London Fashion Week is also dead. And at this point, it seems like we are talking funeral service and not fashion. On a serious note, I think if it's dead or not depends on your approach to fashion. There's no doubt London Fashion Week is going through huge challenges right now, both political and financial. And I think Brexit fucked up London Fashion Week completely, because a lot of industry professionals are not able to come here anymore because nobody wants to deal with bureaucracy and all this paperwork. It's not as easy as just to book a flight and go like to Paris or Milan. A lot of people need working visas, and it's not just so easy anymore. This year, London Fashion Week was only half the duration of what Paris Fashion Week is, and I think the contribution to that was migration of the talent. Basically, a lot of London-based designers are working their way into Milan or Paris and doing pop-ups there, like Martin Rose or like JW Anderson kind of gradually left London. In this way, I think London Fashion Week kind of loses its heritage. At the same time, a lot of younger designers emerge. And this is circling back to my point, what's your approach on fashion? Because for me personally, matter of design is more important than business aspect. I am not that well trained in finance. I don't really understand these things. Well, I do on a very, surface level, as much as I need to understand why Kering is doing very bad and what does it actually mean to the luxury industry as a whole. Having this in mind, for me, and I think objectively, London Fashion Week is not dead. They don't have these huge names anymore to attract the saturation Paris or Milan have, like Burberry. Who cares about Burberry anyways? I'm sorry to offend you, but I'm very direct and honest person, and if you are into Fashion Week just because of huge names, huge brands, I think that's quite bad motivation. I'm just thinking how to explain myself, how to word myself in more gentle way, but I just cannot. I think it's being into fashion for all the wrong reasons, but it's okay. There are all the types of people around us. Not everyone has to be into design, not everyone has to be into business. Some people just want to see the brands they know, because it's not passion for everybody. That's fine. I need my comfort tea because that was a lot. Not a drop got spilled. Why I love London Fashion Week and why I think it's important as a fashion enthusiast, it's platform for emerging designers. I don't know numbers, maybe somebody is very good with numbers, so maybe they can totally call me out on this and say you are talking nonsense, but just my perception is that no other fashion week is as beginner designer friendly as London Fashion Week. I am dealing with technology from previous century here, so every 10 minutes I have to reset everything. Oh my god. I hope it's not distracting. All the fashion weeks basically have some sort of support for young designers, but I think London Fashion Week has the best infrastructure in terms of mentorship and financial support. As a young rebellious designer, you feel like you're crashing a royal wedding in Paris, maybe. But in London, they want to be it. They want underdog. And that is something that is celebrated from very, very long time ago. They have programs like Fashion Scout, then they have, how's it called? New Gen. As a whole, London Fashion Week was always more experimental. Everybody is excited to see the collections of the students of CSM. This is very funny because my best friend, my only fashion friend, visited me a month ago and we were talking about fashion a lot. And at some point we started something very basic. We were basically talking, what is your favorite brand? Who is your favorite designer? And she said that for her, its students, and she's a professor in Academy of Arts, but she wasn't talking about this particular academy. She meant students, fashion students as a whole. And I think that's very valid. I think that's very mature way of seeing fashion. You should never ever skip emerging designers, young designers, designers that are still studying, because they still allow themselves to be so courageous, to be so experimental and rebellious. I think they are real trendsetters. All the innovation comes from students, and that's something London Fashion Week actually celebrates. Have I talked about Talia Byre? Oh my god, I forgot. But I think it's so incredible. Oh my god, we all will know her in 5 years, I'm telling you. So now I just wanted to talk about a few collections from this year, the London Fashion Week, which just ended yesterday basically. And as I said, I just wanted to bring something new. I don't want to talk about Burberry, and I don't want to talk about Erdem, and I just want you to discover something. So first of all, I cannot ignore this major name on social media now, and it's Dilara Findikoglu. I am very sorry if I mispronounce it, for real. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I am not offended for that. I really want to learn this. She didn't have a venue a week before a show, and she chose something very obscure. It was a warehouse, and I think it's the longest existing goth club, if I'm not wrong. She was all about finding beauty in destruction, and she said that it's about her life and about everyone's life. And I think it's so poetic, so beautiful, still so rebellious. I definitely see her on the level of couture we see in Paris. For me, it was definitely the most exciting designer, the most exciting collection during London Fashion Week. And of course, it got so much buzz online, and rightfully so. With all the textures and the laser engraving, so much detail, these shells and these safety pins and this hair, and everything works so well together. Then we have Harris Reed. If you think that you know this name but you cannot put a finger on it, it's the creative director of Nina Ricci, and he has fine art approach. I think it's just so beautiful aesthetically, but to be honest, it's very realistic too. We can see that his client is somebody who goes to the red carpet, who goes to the Grammys, who has, I don't know, very important occasions. And I can totally see it being wearable. I don't see it just as an expression of art, but rather this expression of art has the extension. I feel like he references Charles James a lot, and I hope you know Charles James. He's iconic couture designer. Everything is talking about sustainability. Everything is made in UK, and he used that stock from Savile Row in wool. It's incredible. Look at this gold. Look at this statuesque constructions. It looks like armor, but it's still very sensitive. I don't know if you know what I mean, but you just have to feel it. Next one is Johanna Park. I'm so amazed by her approach to fashion. I want to wear everything from her collection because it not only looks amazing, the constructions are incredible, but it also looks like it's very comfortable for daily life. There are a lot of small quirks, like, you know, these glue dots on the hems of trousers, so it contributes to longevity. And she has some mesh inserts that is more used for sportswear. She is so technical, and I love technical, and it's all about problem solving. I really love the bag. I wish it would become a thing. She says herself that she wears her stuff because what else to wear? And I think this is how it is when you work on something you believe in and something works incredibly. I can totally see her stuff working incredibly on daily life. She also has very interesting material blend, which was with seaweed. Don't ask me about it. I will research that, but now I don't have this knowledge. And herself, she said that for a mass production, it's not possible at this point because the cost would be, astronomical. Bora Aksu is if Tom Brown dressed porcelain dolls. And actually, the designer himself, he collects China dolls, but only the ones that are rejected, that are not perfect. And I think that's so fucking beautiful. This collection is about misunderstood historical figures, and for me it's very interesting as for a person who lives in Vienna, Austria. I'm not Austrian, but national treasure of Austria is Sissi, Empress Elizabeth of Austria, and this collection was inspired by Sissi. She was if you don't know the story of Sissi, I beg you, look into that. It's an incredible personality, it's an incredible story, very sad one, very, very sad one. Anyways, this collection was inspired by movie from 1955 called Sissi, and I think it was so beautiful how he blended wedding gowns and this funeral trimmings, these two universes that are very important in everyone's life, but they are like combined, and it has this airy but very pure look. In general, multi-layers of tulle and georgette and lace feels so strategical, and it's so beautiful, and I really, really appreciate that. And he has some whimsical pieces, let's say, in the collection, and he just wanted to exaggerate this playful side, the side of Sissi, nobody ever seen, basically. Next I have Simone Rocha, and I only made one note, which is a Nepo baby, and okay, I will improvise on that. This might come out as very negative, but I really think that she's very good designer. I really like her style. We cannot deny the fact that if you are somebody who's a daughter of very prominent designer who's very well known, you have different connections and you have some advantages, but I don't want to take away her talent. For me, Simone was always very romantic, very fluid, very sensitive, and I think this collection is a bit different. As I already told before in New York Fashion Week video, something is going on with fur this year. Of course, it's not real fur, but this texture. I don't know if I am the fan how fur was incorporated in the designs, because I think her designs are also very technical. It's nothing groundbreaking, it's not like functional as Johanna Park, but these are objectively good constructed designs. It's just a small part. I'm still celebrating that she kinda adapts new mediums to her collection. I don't expect everything to be perfect from a get-go. Designers develop, and I think it's normal way of working when you're just trying something out and you see how it works. It's like a muscle, it's like a training a muscle. She is just incorporating different mediums, and I think it has huge potential of becoming broader spectrum of what we know from Simone Rocha. So to wrap it up, I think the problem is not that London Fashion Week is dead or that is dying. The problem is that people tend to expect from it what it isn't and what it never was. Unlike Paris, which is very rich in old world luxury, or Milan with its glossy, sparkling, supreme feeling, London thrives on grit, on rebellion, and a little bit dash of DIY culture. It's a birthplace of punk fashion, which is very dear to me. I really like this aesthetic, and not from the sake of visuals, but as a historical fact, as a political weight, and what this aesthetic actually carries within is much more than just visuals. It's a pity that London Fashion Week shifts away from this grandiose production, and I'm really sorry for all the designers who are just going through all this financial burden, but I don't think that we will see London Fashion Week die. Anyways, see you next time.